Good evening. The time.
We have a boisterous crowd tonight.
Good evening, everybody.
Who's that?
The time is 7 o'clock, and we're going to get this meeting started. Thank you. Deb, would you please do roll call?
Councillor Prochnow,
Here.
Councillor Purser,
Here.
Councillor Parrish,
Present.
Councillor Miller,
Here.
and Councillor Hansi is excused absent. Councillor Kumro.
Present, ma'am. Thank you. I'm going to ask everybody to rise for a moment of silence to collect your thoughts, and we'll follow that with the Pledge of Allegiance. For those that come here often, the flag is in a different position. Thank you. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. We have an agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes to the agenda, Mr. Mayor.
Great, thank you. With that, I will need a motion.
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, we have first and second. Deb?
Councillor Prochnow,
Yes.
Councillor Purser,
Yes.
Councillor Parrish,
Yes.
Councillor Miller,
Yes.
and Councillor Kumro.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0. Sorry.
It's going to be one of those nights, just let's get it out there. So it's all good. We have two presentations tonight. Our first presentation is update from Homeward Bound, and I'm going to butcher names, so I'm going to kind of steer clear of that. And I'm not sure who's presenting it, if it's the COO or the Director of Philanthropy. Who's up first? Then come on up. Can you, sorry, microphone. Thank you.
I don't think it's on.
It's not on. It's not on, I don't think.
Can you hear me now?
There.
Thank you very much. My name is Marvin Duarte. I'm currently serving as Director of Philanthropy for Homeward Bound. We're here to give you a little bit of an update concerning some changes that we've had to our organization in the last few months. And without further ado, we'll get started. So, to give you a little bit of background on our organization, Homeward Bound was founded in 2002. We were formerly the Grand Junction Community Homeless Shelter, but then they received their 501(c) and they were able to rebrand into Homeward Bound. After COVID, the nonprofit funding environment has changed drastically. I'm sure everybody knows that. There's just not enough funds to go around anymore. So we unfortunately had to consolidate our North Avenue shelter. That was a very difficult decision for us to make. However, we made that decision with the best intent for the most vulnerable people in our community. We needed to prioritize the most vulnerable. That's domestic violence survivors, that's veterans, that's the elderly, that's the disabled. We wanted to make sure the people who couldn't survive outside on the streets were taken care of and prioritized. So there's a few different ways that people can become homeless. There are, to name a few, stagnant wages, rising rents, healthcare costs, and mental health needs. But as a result of those different systemic failures, more than half of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. I'm sure you've all heard that figure. Some examples of circumstances that could cause somebody to fall into homelessness that could happen to anybody would be losing a spouse after depending on them financially, losing a residence in a house fire, having a health emergency, being laid off, escaping domestic violence, and just lack of transitions for those who have never had stable housing, those in foster care, the military, and correctional facilities. I'm gonna go ahead and show you some pictures here. These are where the homeless in our county are currently located. I'm sure we've all seen the camps. They're out in the desert. They're along the river, they're along the railroad tracks. There's a large population of people living in their cars. They're very mobile, they're changing locations. We have people at our shelter, of course, and then there are a very large amount of people just couch surfing, trying to get what they can. So there are a lot of different numbers being thrown around when it comes to homeless people in Mesa County. Our most recent pick count for this year in February was 613. When we look at that figure, though, we have to understand that that figure is only a snapshot. That figure is one night in February, and it doesn't give us a clear picture of how many homeless we do actually have in this county. For example, District 51's most recent numbers for homeless students and students who identify as homeless is 700. That's for this school year. We can assume that each one of those students also probably has a mother and a father, and that mother and father would also be unhoused. So that right there gives us a figure of about 2,100. If we talk to street outreach, if we talk to all of the different nonprofits that we partner with, and we think about the people in BLM land, we think about the people who are in our national parks just camping, that number can rise to over 3,000 if we're really, really getting that rough estimate out there. I'm going to go ahead and hand this off to our COO. That's Chris Masters, and he's going to tell you a little bit of how we are able to serve the homeless here.
Mayor, esteemed members of council, and Fruita community members, thank you for having us tonight. I'm Chris Masters. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Homeward Bound of the Grand Valley. And I just want to, share a little bit of what we do, how we do it, and some of the progress we've made. We are the largest shelter system in between Salt Lake City, Utah, and Denver, Colorado. We are the largest shelter. We currently have 112 beds. The 112 beds, 50 family units on our second floor. On our third floor, we have 30 beds for our females and 30 beds for our males. These are vulnerable individuals. We also have a commercial kitchen. Thank you, Marvin. We also have a commercial kitchen serving just under 3,000 meals every month. We're doing that with 2.5 kitchen employees, and we have showers and laundry at the facility. So it's open to any guest at any time that can do their laundry. We keep snacks out, things like that for the kids as well. We have case management and family navigation. When someone gets to the shelter, I like to tell them, you don't have to do anything alone anymore. We got your back, and we take them through the process. We have a children's playroom and an on-site shared clinic space. The clinic space is a space that we cycle providers in and out of. So we'll have primary care, we'll have mental health, and we'll have dental services and a myriad of other services cycling in and out of the clinic to serve the guests that we have at the shelter. We also have a respite program. So on occasion, you'll have individuals that are discharged from the hospital. They'll need a place to stay and recoup. And we have that 12-bed respite area as well. We also will be taking oncology patients in because the doctors will not start the treatment if they're unhoused. So that is one of the ways that we make sure that people are getting the care that they need. Maximizing our emergency shelter at the 29-row facility. When someone comes into the shelter, we start the process of helping them get their life together. So within 3 business days, all of our clients meet with case managers. Case manager sets that work plan, and when that work plan is set, they reevaluate every 2 to 3 weeks. Our targeted length of stay here is 90 days. But we will provide extensions if individuals are making progress and getting closer to the goal. But engagement is required. One of the biggest things that we have to do is we have to minimize the length of stay. So that means we need to get people in the shelter. We need to have that intensive case management, and we need to cycle them out of the shelter. That way we can bring more folks in who need our assistance. Extensions are granted on a case-by-case basis. Just in the past 3 months, our case managers have provided over 166 referrals. A number that's not on here is that we housed just over 50 people in the past 3 months as well. So that's folks that come into the shelter, and in 3 months, they're in their own unit or in their own home. We have a structured daily routine for individuals to prepare clients for independent living. So we have set wake up times, meal time, shower times. We even have a bus that comes to the shelter and picks up the kids. So there's a specified time that they need to be outside and ready for that bus as well. And we also partner with D51 to make sure all of our kids are getting to school and getting what they need to prepare themselves for school. So our March through June of 2026 update. The first 3 months at the 29 Road Shelter has been an extreme success. The occupancy, we average in March about 59 individuals per night. This goes up to 72 in April, back down a little bit for May to 69, and back up to 76 in June. So that's the average occupancy if we average out every night. Total bed nights since March, 8,416. That's how many times our beds were filled with those numbers you see on that first line, with those 59, 72, 69, and 76 people. So that's how many times our beds were filled. When we look at the average cost per night, it's about $48 per person per night. That is on the lower end of some of the Denver shelters. Some of the shelters, it's over 60, closer to $80 in some of the shelters. We're hoping to serve a total of 408 clients who are going from shelter into housing, 57 since March. I think we have never had those numbers at Homeward Bound. So our case management crew is doing a phenomenal job. Case management over the past 3 months, our case managers have completed work plans for 95% of our clients. When we started this restructure, we wanted 80% case management engagement. We started out at 100%, and now we're at 95. I'm still pretty proud of that. Those are great numbers. From March to June, our case managers, again, completed over 166 housing applications or referrals to housing, served 10,536 meals since March, and an average cost. Now, this is impressive. The average cost of $1.40 per person per meal. I have yet to figure out how our culinary director does it, but he gets the job done. Future funding challenges. Federal funding has been frozen, restricted, or cut. State funding has been reduced. Local funding faces challenges. And our projected budget is $1.75 million. Anticipates less than 15% of our budget being funded by taxpayer dollars. Over 50% of our funding from foundations and over 27% from individual donors. This is our projection. As you see, this 10.5% is what we're probably going to be looking at in the future when it comes to local taxpayer funding. When we look down, how can Fruita support Homeward Bound and the unhoused in Mesa County? Recognize that we all need to take steps to mitigate the costs in our community. The homeless in our community have associated direct and indirect impacts to EMS, law enforcement, and healthcare. Shelter beds play a role in reduce the impact of those community costs. When you have someone that is not sheltered and they don't have that primary care, the first thing when something goes wrong, they're going to call an ambulance and they're going to go to the emergency room because they don't have that primary care physician. We help them with that and help them stabilize where they don't need the emergency room for everything that happens. Financial support. Homeward Bound is at the moment only 20% taxpayer funded. Shelters and other communities are at 50 to 75% taxpayer funded. Homeward Bound relies heavily on private donations to fund operations. Those donations are getting more competitive and are being redirected. When we have a funding shortage that is not only touching Homeward Bound, it's touching so many other nonprofits. It is competitive out there. So we have to find ways to make ourselves more sustainable and think outside the box when it comes to funding. Another way that you all can support Homeward Bound in the unhoused community is through advocacy. Homelessness does not abide by city boundaries. I think we all know that. We see it every day. So it's not a Grand Junction problem. It's not a Fruita problem. It's not a Homeward Bound problem. This is a community problem. And it's going to take the community coming together to put a dent in this issue. We believe truly that if the city leads, others will follow. So, right, that is the presentation.
Don't go away yet, Chris. There may be questions
Please.
from council.
Absolutely.
Questions, comments?
Yes. One question is I saw on the slide that we didn't hear misconceptions about the homeless. Do you want to share a little bit of that with us?
Absolutely. I apologize. Yes, misconceptions about the homeless. They don't want to work. That is so far from the truth. A good percentage of our clients are employed. We have case management, guys, folks at the Workforce Center, and we work with people with soft skills and things like that to get them prepared for jobs. It's almost, and this is something that I cannot stress enough, and I want to paint a little picture for you here. You're unhoused. You're looking for a job, but you don't have secure shelter. So you don't have a place to leave your belongings when you go to work. You don't have a place to sleep. You don't have a place to shower. And if you have kids, you don't have childcare. It is almost an impossible task for that individual to get employed. That's why the services we provide are so important, because we provide that stability. Homeless people lay around in the shelter all day. That is so far from the truth. We have a schedule for folks. We make sure folks get up out of the bed, that they are productive during the day. We encourage folks to go to the Workforce Center, DHS, to navigate as best they can, secure employment, different things like that. Homeless parents are bad parents. That is far from the truth. Folks are victims of circumstance. Being homeless does not make you a bad parent. Life can be unpredictable. Things happen. And it is just, it's not fair to our parents to be looked at as they're not good parents. They are phenomenal. I see them every day. They're wonderful people. They're great parents. They're just victims of circumstance sometimes. Homeless kids don't go to school. Well, that's not true either. In fact, we have a partnership with D51. So we have a bus that goes directly to the shelter. We also share attendance reports for all of our kids. D51 shares that with us, and we have ROIs, so we can track what students are going, what children are going to school, how often they're going to school, and to keep them from hitting that threshold where, okay, you've missed too many days, you might not make it to the next grade. So yes, unhoused children go to school, and they go to school regularly. Some even go to homeschool. So they do satellite classes from the shelter. Homeless people show up in Mesa County by the busload. I've been doing this a while, haven't seen it. What you will see, and this is true, you think about all of us in this room. If any of us decide, you know what, I want to move to Denver, what are we going to do? We're going to move to Denver. The unhoused population has that same right. They're Americans. They live in this country. They have that right. So we don't see busloads of individuals coming to Mesa County, but what we do see is other nonprofits reaching out to us for individuals that might have family here that might want to relocate. And then we arrange that, and they come to the shelter, and we assist them. Now, Grand Junction, we do send, not Homeward Bound, but the police department has a program called Traveler's Aid, where they send individuals to different locations, in-state, out-of-state. But the requirement is you have to be going to a family member or some living situation. You just can't say, hey, I want to go to Denver, drop me off. It doesn't work like that. So those are just some of the misconceptions. I'll share a little something with you as well. I came to this community in January of 2021. When I set foot in Grand Junction, my first stop was the homeless shelter. That's where I lived. That was my home. And I was there for a little over 3 months. And what I'm telling you is this is the path that we're trying to create for the people we serve. I came to the shelter. I was met with case managers, a loving staff, and people that cared about my future and the future of the people I was in the shelter with. I was a janitor for the shelter for 8 months, and then I worked my way up through the ranks. And that is what we want for the people we serve. And if there's nothing else that you hear tonight, I want you to hear this. Every human life matters, no matter the circumstance. And that is a fact.
Thank you. I have one more question, because you said something along the lines of, the city steps up, others will follow. This is just a question, not a commitment. Do you have a particular ask of the city? Yes, we have an ask. It's not a formal ask at the moment, but yes, we have asked. We're talking to Grand Junction, and we're here tonight. Again, this is not a Grand Junction problem. This is a community problem. This is a Mesa County problem. What we don't want, one of the things we don't want is we don't want people falling through the cracks, but also we don't only have to think about the unhoused community. We have to think about our economy as well. It's affecting every aspect of our economy, and we have to think about that.
So one of the things that I noticed was you mentioned the cost of your bed per night versus Denver's.
Yes.
How are you? That's a significant difference. How are you accomplishing that? Like, what is the difference?
Structure, efficiency, planning. We have 19 full-time employees, and you can see on this slide. So if we go down to Catholic Charities on Smith Road, 82 beds, okay, with a budget of 2.8 million with 38.7 employees full-time, okay? Look at that top number at Homeward Bound, 112 beds, a $1.7 million budget, and 19 full-time employees. We are doing everything we can with what we have, and we are changing lives. And, you know, at the end of the day, that's what we do. We save lives.
You mentioned in the information that you just shared in that last slide talking about kind of misconceptions. What sort of programs do you have or ideas do you have to combat those misconceptions? Because I would imagine that becomes a barrier in a lot of circumstances to helping people out, but also asking the community members to step up.
Outreach and advocacy, spreading the word. You know, every Tuesday and Thursday, we bring in community members, businesses, organizations to do tours, and we share that message. And what we intend to do, you know, if I share the message with you and you share it with 5 people and they share it with 5 people, we got a movement on our hands here. So advocacy, getting the word out, showing up, speaking to city council, speaking to organizations, speaking to funders, talking to the media. That is how we're going to change the misconception, and showing the work that we do. Showing the folks that come to the shelter and showing the progress that they've made. That's how we change the misconceptions.
Thank you.
You had a question?
Yeah, I have a few of them now. So, thanks, Jared.
Gotcha.
A couple extra. So you mentioned, hi, Chris. Thanks for coming, actually. This actually hits probably close to home, similar to what it does for you. As it does for me. So I'm going to try and not be emotional about this. Tuesday and Thursday tours, do you have a particular time we need to set that up? Like, because obviously you have a schedule. So I'm interested in, I can imagine there's probably other people sitting in there in these seats are interested in something like that as well.
12:30 p.m.
Okay.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays and Thursdays. And, you know, all of you are welcome to come as well. So we'd be glad to have any of you. Also up here, Mr. Marvin Duarte, his email is there. That's who you'll contact if you would like to come in for a tour.
Can you forward this PowerPoint to council? Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes.
That was going to be the next one. Thank you.
Sorry to interrupt.
You and I are
Yeah.
right on there. When you talk about your budget and you talk about being able to run this organization with your low number of FTEs, I mean, I've been in the homeless shelters in Denver. I was a veteran service officer in Denver, so I used to go over and see the vets, and I've seen their organizations. Do you manage to do that by the use of having other people that are housed do the tasks in order to help be a part of that community? It's a question I'm asking because I mean you have such a large thing going on and a low FTE.
So our clients, they're amazing people. They help clean the facility. They assist with some front desk tasks. They assist in the kitchen. So while they're helping us, they're helping themselves as well because they're getting prepared for employment.
Right.
You join the culinary program, you work in the kitchen, you learn a little bit, you work in maintenance, you work in janitorial, maybe you get a little admin training, answering phones up at the front desk. So yes, we could not, and this is the thing, we couldn't be the organization we are without the people we serve.
Yeah. I had a feeling, just had to get that down that
Yes.
head. The last question I have for you is, you mentioned housing veterans. That's part of your population that you focus on, which I love, being a veteran myself. How much reimbursement do you receive per veteran, like from the VA? You should be receiving some reimbursement from the VA.
We do not receive any reimbursement or funds from the VA.
Okay, that's something that you and I should be talking about.
Yes, and thank you for your service.
You're welcome. So, and we'll talk about that offline.
And my email and phone number is up there as well. So feel free to give me a call or shoot me anytime.
Anything else, Todd?
No, I think I took up my time. Thank you very much.
I'll just say I'm amazed and very appreciative of the efforts. I've been involved with housing those men during the wintertime. And for many years, your organization has been a rock star. And this even proves it even more so. So I again ask the question, what is your ask? Because I'm assuming that you want.
Yes, I mean,
funds.
we need monetary support. Without communities and taxpayer dollars invested into this problem, we cannot make any progress. In order for our doors to be open, in order for us to keep, and right now we have about 30 or 40 kids with us. In order to keep those kids off the street, we need your support. We need the support from surrounding communities. And I cannot stress the lives that are impacted because of the support from the community and the local governments.
Absolutely. Yes.
I'm Brittany Bear. So actually I'm the board chair of Homeward Bound. So thanks for helping us. And we're so blessed to have Chris and Marvin helping us today. So we will put forward a formal ask. What we're looking to do in our 2027 budget is get up to 30% public support or governmental support. So potentially what that looks like for Fruita, I'll throw out like 100 to 150,000. But that really is what we're kind of going for in our budget cycle. Knowing that our private donations and our grants are at a crunch. We've seen that, of course, with our last year and having to close down one of our shelter buildings. We look at that crunch continuing. So want to continue in Homeward Bound and you know, as we've restructured, I think we've seen a lot of success, but moving forward, how do we continue the services that we have today? You're welcome.
Great, thank you. And then we're heading into budget season here soon. So with any sort of formal ask, I would just suggest sooner, not rather than later, to kind of get that into the process as we start to work through that process for next year's budget.
And should we send that to
Shannon?
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. So thank you. I do also have another general question, which is on the slide where you show that there's 5 organizations within the community that assist with housing. Is there a collaboration between them? Is there are you fighting for dollars? Kind of what does that look like on that level? And then from a community-wide, clearly you're leaning on other service providers in the health and human services world. How does that collaboration operate?
A really neat collaboration. So I sit on also it's called the Mesa County Coalition for the Unhoused as the board chair for Homeward Bound. Dan Prinster sits on that with me as well to represent. And what that does is it brings together all of those community providers so we can collaborate and coordinate services. So hopefully we're reducing some duplication of services and not necessarily going for the same funds. But realistically, grant funding with, you know, all the changes that we're having in Colorado Medicaid, everybody's a little desperate for funds, not a little, a lot desperate for those funds. So as much as we want to, and we do collaborate and coordinate, I think all of the agencies are at a crunch for what the funding is and what funding will continue to be. But there is a lot of cross collaboration. We refer to one another. I know the case management team very well at Homeward Bound. You know, they're referring to other organizations. They're referring to us as well. So a lot of community integration and support.
Right. Thank you. And Brittany, thank you to you and to the entire team for what you do. And really, thank you for coming to us tonight and sharing this presentation with all of us. Greatly, greatly appreciated. Thank you.
I have 2 more questions now.
All right.
Yeah.
Yep, go for it.
Sorry. But yes,
No.
echo all of what the mayor said. But since you brought up Mesa County Coalition of Unhoused, do you have people from the other cities in the county as well as county some county representatives on sitting on that as well?
So we do have a couple different things. So we do have representation in that coalition that also helps to represent us at the state level as well. So there is another committee in the area that is set up a little bit differently, but we also work with them, and then they're our representative to the state.
But do you have
and
to each city?
and to each city. And
Right, so are you asking?
Junction Palisade?
no, so it's the service agencies essentially is who is pulling that in.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
'Cause I didn't know if that would be something that would make sense for one of us to show up to or not. So was that question.
If there's any interest, please tell me.
Okay.
Contact me too.
Okay. And then looks like just based on number of beds, you're not turning anyone away. Like you still have room, but maybe not staff capacity.
We still have room. I would say the one thing, and the team knows as well, is we can't take in everybody, especially with the communal living situation of the folks that we have there and having kids and families there. That does mean there is a population we do have to turn away and refer elsewhere. Some of those with law enforcement history. So as much as we would like to take everybody in, it is limited.
Great. Okay. So 112 beds so far, the highest number from March to June was in the 70 something.
Yeah.
So if they fit within the category of who you can serve, there's space.
There's room.
Great. Okay.
And I'd say the other caveat to that is they do have to engage case management. So that is one of the new things, which I think
so
is great.
good. Yes.
Yeah. So I think that was one of the big changes we did when we did have to close in the 29 road shelters, to say, if we're going to have less beds, we do have to make the best use of them and make the best use of those dollars that are coming in. We appreciate all of the donations and the value and the grants that we get. So how do we best use that? Not that it's not used appropriately everywhere, but we have a limited number of services. So
That's fantastic. Yeah. Great. Thank you so much. That I really am done now.
Now's the time. And I saw Chris kind of pop up behind you. Did you have any final words?
To touch on the service navigation and collaboration real quick. One thing that we realized early on, we don't have the capacity to provide every service. We have so many nonprofits in the community to provide a myriad of services. So where one nonprofit leaves off, the other one can pick up. And that is the path that we're trying to create.
That's the
I can vouch for that from I sit on the board for a community food bank, and that collaboration is so cool to see happen in real time. I'm always so proud of all of the organizations in the Valley are just really working hard to meet these people's needs and to make sure that it's really easy. I think, in the past it seemed really cumbersome, and in the last few years it feels like it has gotten a lot more just fluid and yeah, easier to navigate. So,
and for any of you, we also have our Grand Valley Homeless Coalition. So we have those meetings once a month. If anybody would like to join those and sit in, I'll be glad to send that information and an invite out as well.
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you all so much
Thank
for
you.
having us.
All right. Thank you guys very, very much. All right. Dr. Klein, follow that.
Ready.
Our next presentation is an annual update from Family Health West. Dr. Corey Klein, Chief Executive Officer, is here to present.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Council, for inviting me. I speak about once a year to the Council. I've also participated in workshops in the past as well. So, and I think you got my slides going on. I've been the President and CEO of Family Health West since 2019, August 2019, right before a little thing called COVID happened. I always say that I don't know what normal CEOing is, but I have found in healthcare there is no normal year. There is always something going on. But we were founded in 1946. And so this actually marks our 80th year of providing services to Fruita. And we're a 501c3 that actually is a nonprofit, and most rural hospitals have a tax base. We're actually one of only 2 critical access hospitals in Colorado that don't receive property tax dollars. And our founders felt that being independent was important. And so that is part of our mission.
Dr. Klein, we don't have permission to access that on Google Drive. So
I will forward that.
It was working.
Yeah.
Let's do. Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Access to this, no. We will sort this out, yes.
I brought it 3 ways because I know how that.
Technology.
It's all
Probably
good.
because the file was too big, so then Google put it on their drive and then you have to have permissions.
Yep.
Probably what happened.
There's a lot of heads nodding in the room because we've all experienced it. Yeah.
I just realized you will have to help me get on the internet to get onto the Zoom link though, once I get to that point.
And this is the type of collaboration we like to see.
And I will say that's true. We recently had a patient at Family Health West who chooses to live in a tent, who had a medical reason why he couldn't. And I really appreciate the medical respite services that the shelter provides, because that was essential for his wellness and to heal so that he could get on with his life in a healthy, safe manner. And that's all caps. It did get that, yeah.
Budget season's coming up. Oh, okay. So you're good for at least.
Oh.
In an effort to fill the silence, some of the discussion that's going on up here is we share mints during the meetings, and we're starting to run low on mints. So we're trying to figure out the game plan moving forward of how we make sure we have mints to get us through the meeting.
Stocked.
And for the to our newer council members, they're like, we get mints.
I was not provided with my mints yet.
The record, those do not come from city budget. Those come from me and me personally donating those to the rest of council for these meetings. So you will not find those in any line items. I'm running out of material here, Dr. Klein.
You had material?
Actually, they're the same thing these days, if you've ever been to the doctor.
Other fun
I think that's
West history. I was one of the last babies born at Lower Valley Hospital, which was the former Family Health West. Very thankful for your services. Literal product.
You know, our old hospital is now HR, so I say we have 3 employees that were born in HR or started their careers at Family Health West naked. I believe I'm getting there now.
All right, great.
I'm hoping I pop online here to the.
Yours actually looks sort of like you. His little label dude. None of ours looked like us.
Mine is gone. I don't know where it went. I was so sad.
Put mine in my brief.
All right, there we go.
All right.
All right, without further ado, our next presentation is our annual update from Family Health West, Dr. Klein, CEO.
Thank you, and thank you for your patience. I always start with our mission. Our intent is actually quality outcomes. Some people think that small hospitals have small-time healthcare, and we actually profoundly disagree with that. We provide the highest quality healthcare that we can based on our size. And we also know that we don't always make people better, but we can always make their day a little better, and that's an important piece of healthcare as well. A little bit about us and our people. We have 631 employees. We're approximately the 7th largest employer in the county, and we are the largest employer in Fruita, and we are very proud of that. And I bring this every year to you just so that you can see a little bit about who we are. But you can see we're predominantly a female employed group, with 489 of our 631 being females. And I also think it's interesting to say how many of our people live in Fruita as well. And statistically, 38% of our employees live in 81521. And I specifically say 81521 because, as you all know, the Fruita grocery store isn't full of just 81521. There are parts of the Redlands and some of the northern zip codes of Grand Junction that actually call Fruita home in terms of the schools, their groceries, and their healthcare. So there's actually many more than 38%. I just can't tease them out based on their home address in our payroll system. This year, as in many years, the people who make the least amount of money actually drive the furthest to work because of the cost of living in Fruita. So I also want to thank you for all of your work that you have done over the years trying to provide affordable housing, workforce housing, because that's made a huge impact on our lower wage earners. The other benefit of a hospital in a rural community is that we probably have some of the lowest wages in town and some of the highest wages in town, and every wage scale in between, because we have everything from no skill jobs to surgeons. And that is really good for our economy because we're able to accommodate the skills of a large, broad base of workforce. Our average age this year is 44. It actually went up a year. So shockingly, we all got older. Our average tenure is 4.9 years. And if you dig a little deeper into that, we have a really high number of 20 and 30-year employees. And then we have a lot of turnover within the first year of employment, but we're in the lowest quintile for turnover rate compared to other hospitals. We have a very low turnover rate, and the most common reason that people leave Family Health West is they go back to school or they leave Fruita, the Fruita area for employment. Our average wage is over $43 an hour, and this statistic astounded me this morning when I was creating it. We provide almost $1 million a week in salaries and wages. That does not include benefits, and that does not include any of our contracted labor. That is literally what we pay in wages. So the economic impact of our hospital is really significant and astounding, and it actually baffles me when I look at that and go, how is that even possible? But if you think about the economic impact of that, I see it. I eat in Fruita almost every day, and I see our badges in almost every restaurant every single time, no matter which one I pick. So not only is the salary going to the person, but the person is then spending on housing, food, transportation, and groceries. And then I thought I always give you some fun facts. And so you can see this was our statistics sheet from January 1st through May. So we've already done 48,627 lab tests. And you might say, well, you're a hospital. Isn't that what you're supposed to be doing? But we've also done, over 12,000 primary care visits and seen about 2,500 people in our emergency room. And as you know, our behavioral health clinic opened in March, and it's already seen 1,421 behavioral health visits. And that's pretty amazing, and I'm pretty proud of that. In fact, it's been more successful than we planned. But then on the left-hand side, I just always have to talk about something that's not healthcare. We are the only hospital in Mesa County that has a Google rating for our restaurant. So Flavors Grill is a 5-star restaurant. I don't know if you knew that. And I was actually reading the Google reviews earlier, and it actually cracks me up because it was like, so I went to this restaurant, but it was actually in a hospital. But it was really good. And it is amazing. We have a coffee group of retired folks that come. We have a business in town that gets breakfast burritos every Wednesday morning. And during COVID, when we closed it to the public, we about had a riot over a chicken fried steak. And I actually brought the steak to the front door. because that's what we do. But what is amazing to me is we also have a catering company, and our hospital has already produced over 29,000 meals this year. And that is just an amazing amount of food that goes to our patients in our hospital, our assisted living, our employees, and the general public. And our cookies are kind of famous. They've actually produced over 5,000 cookies already this year, which I think keeps us in the hospital business. We have done a lot of improvements this year. We are always investing back into our hospital and system. Our foundation fundraised for over 2 years to update our nurse call system. It was used when it was installed in our hospital, when it was built over a dozen years ago, and we were finally able to complete that. We have a new state-of-the-art nurse call system. That's the button you press to get the nurse, and it has the ability, although it doesn't do it now, but it would have the ability to track the nurses, so it would turn the call light automatically off when they walk in the room, so they don't have to worry about the button. They can worry about the patient. And also, if they leave the bed rails down, the bed's now talked to this call system. So if the bed rails are supposed to be up, which is a patient safety issue, and they walk out of the room, the call system lights up. And that's pretty amazing. We also updated our telemetry system. That's our heart monitoring system. It's now available in every single patient room, every single emergency room, and all of the bays in our pre-op and PACU areas. And before we were sharing like 6 systems, and now we can accommodate the entire building. We also started Family Health West General Surgery, and we have a state-of-the-art Da Vinci 5 robot. And at 6 months, we have actually surpassed the number of surgeries that we set as his goal, which has far surpassed the budget. In fact, it has been really quite amazing how many people did not have to leave Fruita for gallbladder surgery, appendectomies, and other general surgeries. Opened just last week. In our urgent care, we had a portable x-ray. We did not realize how successful the urgent care was going to be or how much the x-ray was going to be needed. So we actually have a full service x-ray unit that just opened last week. And the radiologists tell us that the x-rays there are better than our hospital's x-ray machine now. So you know what the ask will be next budget year. In our memory care building, we had swamp coolers. We now have central air conditioning for them. And because of the fires and the risk of power outages, we have invested in providing backup power generation so that we never have to worry about those most at-risk demented assisted living adults. That should be installed by the end of the year if we get through all the bureaucratic inspections and life safety inspections. And then, of course, a couple of new clinics. So we have a new behavioral health clinic and coming in approximately September. Again, if we pass all the regulatory hurdles, we are already providing respiratory therapy to outpatients, but we're doing it inside our hospital, which is confusing for patients. And we have one of the only outpatient respiratory treatment centers during the winter for kids with asthma, adults with COPD, where they can come in and have a respiratory therapist give them a breathing treatment without having to be in the ER, and it prevents ER visits and is keeping people out of the hospital. That should open approximately in September. Community benefit is a common hot topic, and some people call fancy marketing things community benefit. But Family Health West truly does give back to our community. I'm not going to read the list to you. Some of them you probably recognize, like the first aid station at the Fruita Fall Fest. And some of you have probably heard me talk before, and some of the educational events. One of the advantages of being a physician CEO is I can have an educational session on the administrative side of hospitals or the medical side. And then, of course, all of the other things that we sponsor. That $1.5 million in economic value is not charity care to the patient. That is literally what our employees give to the community in value. Half of that number is actually the last bullet point, which is volunteer faculty and educators. There's about $600,000 worth of mentoring and precepting that we do for medical students, interns, residents, nurses, other allied health professionals. If you've been inside Family Health West, if you can name it, we probably have an intern for it, including an IT intern and a culinary intern. Because as you can see, a culinary intern gets a lot of experience, and that's a real benefit to the community college's culinary program. And I'm really proud of that, and that's actually part of the reason our turnover rate is low, and also that our open positions are very low, is because we are literally training the next generation of healthcare professionals. And then on the other side, the charity side, We're still calculating how much charity care we've given in terms of payers. So that $1 million is really just donated medical services to patients, either through our internal charity programs or through state-directed charity programs. So that number is actually low. It will only get bigger by the time we file our 990 tax return. There are some things growing. As I talked about, Dr. Andy Morris is doing state-of-the-art surgical robotics, and we're also developing a weight loss management clinic for all of those people that are interested in GLP-1s or need weight loss surgery. We offer that full services at Family Health West. And then, of course, our behavioral health program, which I spoke to you guys last year in a work session. We did 5 town halls and really tried to tailor it to what the community was asking of Family Health West. And one of those things was more pediatric diagnostics. And so we hired Dr. Rachel Merck. She came from California, so she truly added capacity to Mesa County rather than borrowing from our neighbors. And she can see kids even down under the age of 5 if they can interact appropriately for testing. But she provides full service testing, including ADHD, learning disabilities, autism, and other disorders, including behavior disorders. And I think one of the things I found out in the town hall is the school and parents often can't tell the difference. Does my kid have a behavioral issue, a learning issue, a psychiatric issue, or something else going on? And actually, she can do all of the testing through her because she is trained to do everything. We have had some struggles with that, actually. Some insurers don't want to pay for that testing. And so we actually set up a fund through our foundation this year called the Resiliency Fund. And it is Family Health West's goal that everybody can seek psychiatric behavioral health care at Family Health West, regardless of their ability to pay, including if their insurance has decided not to pay. We will still provide their care. We also do adult diagnostic testing. Dr. Tabitha Imsley is a full-time psychologist, and we also have part-time John Gustafson and Scott Emsley doing that. They were doing more counseling. We actually switched them over to diagnostics based on community feedback. And so now adults at Family Health West can get a whole range of psychological testing, including competency testing, dementia testing for elderly patients, but also even ADHD, autism, and other learning disabilities in the adult population. They can do all of those things at Family Health West. We're doing counseling as well. I have 3 counselors up there. There's actually 5, but 2 of them haven't started yet, so I didn't put them on there. And the other request from the town halls was more help with medication management. We did not want to duplicate services with Health Solutions West, and we also did not think we could accommodate safely the seriously mentally ill. But we were able to hire 2 psychiatric nurse practitioners, Alicia Bradley and Melinda Allen. They can see both kids down to the age of 5 up to adults for medication management, as long as it's not seriously mentally ill behaviors. For those patients that need help, we do have a psychiatric robot inside our emergency room and can have a psychiatrist within 5 minutes to help with assessment, diagnosis, and placement if needed. We have a new orthopedic surgeon coming in September. His name is Fortunato Padua. I feel like that's a very Star Warsy type of name, Padua. He has two young children. He is moving to Fruita. And he does a few unique things and a few other things. He is trained in surgical robotics for orthopedics, including anterior hip replacements, which are rarer in Mesa County, as well as shoulder replacements and knee replacements. And he actually can do some small joint arthroscopy, which isn't available in Mesa County. So a pretty well-rounded, well-trained doctor coming in September, and we're pretty excited about that. In primary care, people keep asking for doctors. We keep supplying them. Our only downside so far is, as you know, most of my colleagues have now retired. And so that's been a little hard on our community because some of them had very large practices, like Dr. Motes and Dr. Holmes. So they've been a little hard to replace, but we've been working on that. We have Dr. Michaela Thurston and Dr. Anna Rasmussen coming here in just a few months. We're currently adding patients to their schedules, and Adam Hallen and Greta Thompson are both very experienced nurse practitioners that are taking full panels. And so we have 1 male provider and 3 female providers, and we actually have 2 more primary care doctors in contract negotiations. So that brings our total primary care providers to 18, 19 if you count me, but they never count me anymore. I did have clinic yesterday, but I'm an outsider now. I'm management. We also have Family Health West Endocrinology. We recently added Kim Jeffrey. She was in private practice in Grand Junction. She joined our staff, as well as Liz Lawhon, who is a certified diabetic educator. So we have 2 certified diabetic educators, plus our endocrinologist, Dr. Reinetz. And we can do full service endocrinology, including type 1 diabetics with insulin pumps and complex diabetes, as well as pituitary problems, adrenal gland problems, and other endocrine problems as well. And then my last slide. So what is my ask? So I'll answer the question before you ask it. And I don't have an ask other than we are a 501c3 nonprofit in Fruita. We are here for Fruita's community. We have been for 80 years. And I ask that the local community support our local independent hospital. The second thing is give us feedback. So I truly believe Family Health West is the absolute best place to work in Mesa County. And if that isn't true, I can't fix it if I don't know about it. And I believe it's the best place to receive care in Mesa County. And if that's not true, and sometimes we do miss the mark, I can't fix it if I don't know about it. So please give me feedback. I have a quarterly town hall at one of the area coffee shops. One of them is usually with Shannon. And I was happy last year that they were more focused on him than me. But I do appreciate the relationship there, because we do play a key role in the health of Fruita. And then, of course, I am asking this year to support behavioral health. We have our Red Baron Bash. It's on September 12th. And all of the proceeds go to our mental health resiliency fund to make sure that anyone who needs mental health services is not turned away. We're one of a few mental health clinics that take everyone regardless of their ability to pay. And I am proud to announce it was the quickest. We had enough sponsorships to cover our costs. So the community has really believed in mental health. I'm really thankful for that. And it's pretty amazing to see people gravitate to such a worthy cause. In fact, we just completed that building and it's too small. And we need to figure out how to accommodate the next phase of our behavioral health programming. But I don't think that's a shock to anyone who has paid attention to mental health in Mesa County or even across the country. And so if you want more information, that of course is on our website. And so that's all I have.
Great, thank you. Before you go, I'd like to bring it back to council with any questions.
I don't have any questions, but man, you guys have been busy. Kudos. That's all amazing. Since we last saw you, you've done so much. So
Thank you.
keep up the good work.
We continue to grow. I will say we don't grow willy-nilly. We really are trying to expand services that are needed in Fruita. And I think that shows with how fast the clinics grow. If we're filling gaps, the patients really do need the services.
And you gave us kudos for the work we're doing on housing, but we shared part of that with you. You guys were a great partner on one that we're excited to open soon. So
I'm excited to see it.
Yeah.
I'm watching it slowly.
I do have 2 questions for you. It sounds like one of the themes throughout your presentation and what you talked about today was kind of connecting with the community to see what's needed, and then seeing where you can kind of fill those gaps. How often do you guys reassess or kind of do a needs assessment within the community to figure out if you're still on track and if anything needs to be changed or?
Sure. So I do quarterly town halls to try to get feedback. And then, of course, we also do table talks once a month through our foundation where they're educational in nature, but I attend all of them and people give me feedback when they feel like we've missed the mark. We as a county also do a community health needs assessment every 3 years in partnership with the health department, the other hospitals, and other agencies focused on health. In fact, I think the city of Fruita also participates in that county-wide effort. From that community health needs assessment, we then have a community health improvement plan, also called a CHIP. That's on our website. It was recently updated. And some of our focus areas are things that we can do something about. Mental health came from the community health needs assessment too. That's the seed that started that. We also have a partnership with Mesa County Public Health for a naloxone kiosk. in between our primary care and urgent care to help treat opioid overdose. And we also participate in the Alternatives to Opioid program, which is a statewide initiative to try to stop creating addiction from the healthcare system for opioids. And we actually just had another non-opioid medicine come out, and we quickly adopted that into our formulary so that our patients have access to that treatment. And so those are really the two key areas. The third area that we're really focused on, and it's kind of related to mental health, but it's suicide. We have one of the highest suicide rates in Colorado, and we have the highest teen suicide rate in Colorado, our county does. And that breaks my heart. And I feel like we have to do something about that. And so a couple of initiatives, we try to screen every patient for depression and suicidality. So I'm sorry if you came in for a sore throat. We're going to ask you if you're depressed. There's a purpose for that because we believe that the point of care screening every time is how we do that. And then we have provided training to all 630 employees on what to do if someone presents with suicidal ideation, even if you're a front office person or a housekeeper or somebody working in environmental services. At least they know who they should go to for help if they can't help themselves. But our goal is that our staff have 100% comfort with knowing how to take care of a patient who expresses those harmful concerns. And when we surveyed last year, we had about 50% of our staff said they felt comfortable. This year, when we surveyed, it was about 2/3 were comfortable. So our education is helping people feel more comfortable, bringing it up, asking about it, and figuring out how to do something about it. So hopefully we don't leave anyone behind that is feeling suicidal.
That's great. Yeah, thank you. We really appreciate that. And you kind of lined me up for my next question. So I chair a board for kind of a resource navigation organization specifically for the queer community. And suicidality, specifically in mental health, are two of the big things that affect the queer community. So do you, in your needs assessment and in any of the programs that you have, do you kind of dig down a little bit deeper into the parts of the community that you're servicing? And do you have any programs specific to the queer community that can help?
They do ask some demographic questions. I can't specifically tease out the proportions that are in our primary mission zip code, but we do have programs for that. We have some primary care providers that have an interest in that. So anybody in that community that's looking for a specific provider, one thing I think we pride ourselves on is we try to have a provider for everyone, which also means some providers aren't for everyone. That's okay, you can switch. That kind of thing, because we really want you to have a primary care provider that you feel comfortable with, whether it be because of a particular traumatic past or sexual identity or your gender or any of those things that you might want to pick a certain provider. We have that. We are able to do some of that through our behavioral health clinic too. Unfortunately, we're just not big enough to really provide dedicated services for a specific population. But in talking with Alex Holst and their team members, all of them feel comfortable at least addressing depression and anxiety in special populations and things like that. Although it may get out of their scope of practice if it gets too difficult, so to speak. But one thing I think is good about the behavioral health community is they usually have a resource to connect with. And I know there are some better resources for some of those patients that aren't in our clinic. And we have access to all those resources. But I'm also happy to connect you with Alex to make sure that we know all those resources too, so that we are warm handing off patients to other community services when needed. Just like we do with any other medical problem.
Great, thank you.
Great question.
I have no questions, but I just could not be more impressed with what's going on. And I just want to thank you so much for your presentation and for the services. Over the last couple of years, I've had to make use of some of those, like the labs and things like that. And the blood draws are phenomenal. Even if you don't like the needles, they do a great job. Yeah, and I just am super impressed and very, very thankful that we have this resource in our community. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Would only second what Janina said. It's incredible. Happy to have you here.
Thank you.
If not, I got something. I got,
Sure. So, thanks for coming today, there, Doc. Yeah, I voiced everything. I agree with everything they said. I think I heard you say something about having like Narcan boxes on the other side, like on the south side, right? Do we have anything on this side?
We don't. We did discuss that with Mesa County Public Health, and they didn't want confusion with people who should be going to the emergency room with people who are going to the box. So they chose to actually not. But they did talk about perhaps the rec center or the community center or some other place to have access that's close, but not creating the confusion. So that's why we chose that. The other reason we chose by primary care is because it's primary care, urgent care, and the welcome center. And so the thought is that maybe that's 3 access points. And I have to say, I'm amazed at how much of that Narcan disappears. So it's being used, and I think that's a good thing, because the worst thing we want to do is hide it. And so I've actually been impressed with the availability, but I'm not aware of anything on this side of the interstate unless there are other.
I was just going to say, just in the last 2 years, all the schools have also been provided in the health offices with Narcan as well, which is not public, but people are trained on, to large populations in the schools as well.
Right, the school. And
It's not the same, obviously, but.
I was just curious if you had same service or same thing provided on this side, but like you said, the ER and all that's over here, so it makes sense.
Yeah, so it was a discussion. We also have a box inside our main hallway for drug destruction. So anybody who has leftover opiates or any other pill for that matter, instead of putting it into our river, which might affect its flow because it's so low. You can drop any pill off into the green box. It's secure, and that takes it out of the hands of potential children or out of our food supply, out of our water supply, and out of our landfills. So they're treated appropriately. So you can always put stuff in that box.
Do you advertise that?
That's a good question. I don't think we have directly advertised that.
I think that's some. I just say spread the word. The VA has the same box. It's like a mailbox.
Yeah. So
I take stuff to that. So.
Yeah, I think it's a great way to get rid of medicines that are no longer needed.
Mm-hmm.
Couple notes. One is what's interesting over the past 3 or 4 years, which is the conversation has shifted from how many openings you've had to how many traveling nurses and doctors you've had to now here's our staffing, we're fully staffed. So just kudos. I know that's not an easy thing to do, but it's been interesting to kind of observe how that you've moved the needle on that. So thank you for that. The other one is a confusion questions. I'm confused. You're a rural hospital. Is all of Fruita considered rural from that standpoint? And the reason why I'm asking is because on the south side, thanks.
Wow.
Mayor is directionally challenged for those of you that are.
There's other providers here in the community, and I don't think I don't know if it's the right term, rural certified. I don't quite understand that.
So there are several definitions of rural. We are in if you look at HRSA, for example, we're in a metropolitan statistical area because they loop us in. The whole county is actually considered urban. But what I'm talking about when I say rural hospital or a critical access hospital, that's a Medicare designation that has been given to Family Health West. And actually, we don't meet the criteria for that anymore, and we're grandfathered in. But what that really means is how Medicare reimburses us for care is different. There's actually 3 different types of Medicare designated hospitals. The other is a prospective payment system hospital or PPS hospital. That Community and St. Mary's, for example, are PPS hospitals. And then the third is a relatively new designation called a rural emergency hospital. And that's actually was created for towns that are shrinking beyond even having the need for a hospital. And so there's only about a dozen of them because it's a pretty new designation. Those are more in the frontier designated areas where their hospital census is so low that they're really, they can have an emergency room and a couple of observation beds, but they don't technically have inpatient beds anymore. And so that's the designation we use. In terms of clinics, you can have something called a rural health clinic. And the interesting thing about the boundaries there is that I can have a rural health clinic, I can have a cornfield that is not rural, and you can have one of your new housing developments is rural because the map overlay of that designation for rural health clinics does not look anything like the city limits of Fruita. And so, for example, I'll give you an example. The last time we looked at this was before COVID. On the, I'm directionally challenged to, northwest corner of the interstate, that property there was for sale at one point. And then 401 Cocopelli, where our Family Health West primary care is not rural health clinic, but that property was. I literally could flip them across the interstate closer to town and be more rural for a rural health clinic. And so that's really, when you talk about that, a rural health clinic is actually paid different too. Because we don't have a rural health clinic, our clinic is paid just like any other primary care clinic. So the other clinics in the Cocopelli development all are paid similarly to how Family Health West is paid.
Thank you for that clarification.
Yeah, of course.
Any other questions?
More info than I need.
I just wanted, this is not you specifically, but it's housed in your building, if this is correct. There is now a Mesa County Department of Human Service office in one of your buildings?
There is. With the passage of House Resolution 1 and the changes that it was making to Medicaid, there was on the horizon for Family Health West and Mesa County as a whole, the potential for fewer people to be on Medicaid and the enrollment criteria to be more strict. For example, there's work requirements coming, and there's also a re-enrollment look back of 6 months instead of 1 year. And then, of course, the other thing affecting hospitals is if somebody comes into the hospital and they qualify for Medicaid, it used to be a 90-day look back. That's changing to a 30-day look back. So it's really important to the hospital that the patients that deserve Medicaid are enrolled in Medicaid. And so we reached out to the county, and we were the first hospital, but I believe all 3 hospitals in the county are doing this now. We reached out to the county and said, how can we get better Medicaid enrollment services here? And so we started a pilot program with Mesa County. And if you don't know, Medicaid is determined at the county level in Colorado. And so it's the county's Department of Human Services that does that work. And so we worked with them for a pilot program just to try it. We received really positive feedback, but we do have a person that is an employee of the county who can enroll people in all 4 types of Medicaid, be it long-term care or other services at the county, and it's real time in there. They will also come to our hospital and help patients actually in the hospital. And that has sped up our discharges to long-term care from taking about 45 days to about 4, to tell you the difference that makes. Because instead of it going onto a pile at the county, we have somebody who can answer their questions and do that right there. And so they are housed in our support services building. They are a county employee, and so you can make an appointment, but it's through the county. If you call us, though, we'll happily point you in the right direction.
Thank you.
I believe that's also the first time Medicaid services have been offered in Fruita.
Yeah, it's incredible that exists. So thanks for making that happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Great question.
Well, thank you as always, Dr. Klein. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
We've had 2 great presentations that have taken up a little bit more of the front end of the meeting than normal. So we're going to pause for a 10-minute recess for a bio break. So time is 8:13. We'll be back at 8:23. Thank you. All right. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for understanding while we took a short recess. Which takes us to number 5 on our agenda. It's public participation and consent agenda. This portion of our meeting is set aside for City Council to listen to comments from the public about items not on tonight's agenda or items that appear on the consent agenda. Consent agenda items are those for which all conditions or requirements have already been met, and they are typically approved with a single motion without separate discussion. We welcome and value your input. To help maintain a welcoming, respectful, and productive environment, we ask that there be no clapping, cheering, booing, jeering, or sign holding. This helps ensure that everyone, regardless of their viewpoint, feels comfortable sharing their thoughts. Each speaker will have 3 minutes, and we ask that you begin by stating your name and if you're a resident of Fruita. If you have materials you'd like to share with council, please hand them to our city clerk, Deb Woods, so that they can be entered into the public record and distributed appropriately. While council will not respond during this portion of the meeting, please know that we are indeed listening, and we appreciate you taking the time to participate in this important process. So with that, I would like to open up the floor to anybody that would like to come up and speak for 3 minutes.
Yes, I have.
So my name is Steve Soychak. I'm a resident at Adobe Falls subdivision, and I lived there about 3 years now. But yeah, so that would be for you, right? So anyway, we're here to update the petition that we presented last year. I think it was around May or June of last year, after there was a car that went through a house coming off the golf course, went right into a house, damaged the house, and lucky people weren't killed, but it was definitely going over the speed limit of 35 miles an hour that is posted at over there. So the updated, since the last petition we showed you, we had only 40 signatures, but there's about 80 units inside the Adobe Falls subdivision. And then there's several people that live off older homes off the subdivision as well that we've got signatures from. So we've updated it from 40 signatures. Now we're up over 60 signatures. And the most prominent one is the golf course. The manager of the golf course signed off on it yesterday. So he's in agreement that that speed should be reduced from 35 to 25. I think the gentleman that was speaking earlier from Homebound was talking about how every life matters. And there's, countless studies that show if you reduce speed from 35 to 25, you reduce your chances, if you're a pedestrian or a bicyclist, by half of surviving that impact. And so, I'd like to stress that, but I presented you with the petition, but also the PowerPoint, pretty much the same as last year, with showing the house damage and so forth. But we did add several slides to the end of this. If you skip to what Adobe has done, they posted a couple slides on the outlet of their parking lot, telling people to slow down because of people are living there. Now, I'm going to guess that prior to Adobe Falls, prior to these 80 units and close to 200 people living there now, 35 was probably okay. It wasn't very busy. It didn't have the concentration of people now. Now you've got bicyclists, you've got more road traffic from Adobe Falls, and you probably have hundreds of cars driving back and forth from the golf course each day, which is great. We love to play golf. We have our own golf cart. There's a lot of golf carts that go up and down. Most of those golf carts are governed, I'm going to guess, less than 25 miles an hour. They're not governed to 35. So city engineer and the Fruita police officer came to visit us in April of this year to give us an update of their studies.
I see. Wrap up your thought, please.
All right. I guess in summary, I'm going to let my wife talk for me, but in summary, it'll save lives. If you can save one life by reducing that speed, it's worth it.
Thank you, Steve.
I'm Jane Swiechak, live at Adobe Falls. Real quick, I guess last year with the meeting, we were told that there was a Safe Routes grant and that they had, they were going to do different things on the road to slow down the traffic. We have not seen anything. The summer's half over. Every single day, cars are speeding, and it's a dangerous speed where I am uncomfortable in my own backyard. I have grandchildren I want to bring in my backyard that I won't because of the speeding. It's so critical, and I appreciate you guys listening to us, but nothing's been done, and nothing's changing. One morning, and this is what Steve put in there, I counted the first 25 cars that went down, and I think I started around 7:15 in the morning. I was sitting on my patio, and 25 cars, and in just that amount of time, only 5 were going the speed limit. We do have a radar gun, as well as some of our other neighbors got radar guns. But they were all exceeding, up to 50, 54 miles an hour. So there were 100 cars that I counted until 8:45, and then I was like done. So the number. I mean, it's a big course. They've got the 3 different courses. There's so much traffic, and it's a runway. It's a new blacktop. It's got the yellow stripe going down. It's a runway. They're late coming in for a tea time maybe, but especially leaving. And a lot of people drink golfing, which causes more fear and more speeding and more chance. I just think it's critical that we do something that's going to slow down this traffic. It's going to be a lot less costly than it is to have a tragedy happen. And that scares me, and I get very emotional about that. So what else am I supposed to say? I just feel that you guys have listened, but yet nothing's happening. And I have been dealing with this and the police. I know they're tired of hearing from me. I feel like I almost don't even have to give my name anymore. They probably recognize my voice. We need someone out here. We've got to slow down this traffic. So we had some friends come over 4th of July, and we're out there. And so we got our radar gun, and I think it was like 57 we clocked, and a lot of the people were going, oh, this guy was going 60. Oh, this one, and here we are out at a barbecue in our backyard. So that's what's happening. So something has to be done.
Thank you, Jane.
Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is Trish Brown. I live at 1224 Adobe Falls Way, also in the same subdivision. A lot of the people here I recognize, they're my neighbors. We're all here for the same reason. Not too long ago, I was sitting on the back patio and 2 cars were drag racing down that street in the evening at 7:30 at night, between 7:30 and 8 when the golf course closed. My husband, who is a nurse and works in the ICU at St. Mary's, was riding his motorcycle home, and he came home just after those cars went speeding down the road. If he had been riding his motorcycle or come around the corner, or they had been a few seconds different, my husband might be dead today. Someone is going to be killed if something is not done about the unsafe driving that is occurring on a nightly basis. I notice it mostly at night and in the morning, sometimes when I'm walking, because I walk out there, many of us do. We walk down 18 and a half road, we walk down I road, we walk down 19 road. There's no sidewalk for some of that. Someone's going to be killed. There are people that ride their bikes from our subdivision to get on the riverfront trail. The most dangerous part of their ride is riding down 18 and a half road because people are speeding. And I'm not talking about doing 40 miles an hour. I'm talking about people doing 50 miles an hour. I have a radar gun too, and I've sat out there on my patio in the evening. And the high traffic volume area, the worst part is in the evening. Sometimes when the golf course has been closed, the sprinklers are on and it's dark, And the people that come speeding out of there, I don't know if they work there. I would imagine some of them have been sitting in the bar and they're speeding to get home or whatever they're doing. And they are some of the worst offenders doing 40, 50, 60 miles an hour down that road. I'm asking you, I'm begging you, please, please do something about the traffic before someone gets killed. Me, one of my neighbors, someone who is going to play golf that gets killed by somebody driving too fast on that road. I just don't want us to have a tragedy happen out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Trish.
My name's Tom Peterson. I live in the same subdivision. And I was, excuse me, I would just like to suggest do one of a couple of things. I know you've posted officers out there, and it doesn't do much good because it's a straight, wide open road. They can't hide behind anything. So, they pull out of the golf club parking lot and see the cop, and they drive slow and behave themselves. There's a couple of things you could do. You put up a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit sign. For some reason, every other street in Fruita is 25 miles an hour, and ours is, I think it's posted at 35, isn't it? And how changing the sign is pretty simple. The second thing you could do, which would cure it, if you put in a speed table like you have in North First Street in Grand Junction. Speed tables are made to basically go up and flat and they drop down, but they can be designed for any speed. And I've fooled around a few times, and I found you can hit them at 25 and go over them pretty comfortably. You hit them at 30, and it's really a bump. You spill your coffee and stuff falls on the floor. So, it's a little more, requires a little more work and engineering, but we need to do something there. And like my neighbors said, something's going to happen sooner or later. So we greatly appreciate some of your help. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom.
Good evening, City Council. Ryan Gertner with Fruita Silo LLC. Signing the dotted line tomorrow to become a permanent resident of Fruita. So very excited for that. Our family will be moving here very soon. But just wanted to jump up. Work travel schedule has been very chaotic this year. I haven't been able to attend very many meetings, but grateful to be here tonight and just really wanted to come up to take a moment and thank you all for the opportunity to be part of something that represents the community in such a visible way. Having the city's artwork displayed on both sides of the silo is something that we are truly proud of, and it's more than just a structure. It's become a canvas that reflects the identity, energy, and pride of Fruita. So Fruita is a very special place, and we're grateful to even play a small part in promoting what makes it so great. So please know that you can always come to any of us. We'd love to meet with you all. We're always available. I may be traveling a little bit here and there, but certainly my family will be around, and that we are in the elementary stages of trying to create something very remarkable for that 9,000 square foot warehouse space. It's just due to the nature and history of it, it's taken a lot more engineering than we anticipated when we first acquired it. So we are still looking for some small-term renters, if you know anybody that could use the space. But I did just want to come up and thank you all, and we're just very excited come September. So go Fruita. So have a good evening.
Thank you, Brian.
Good evening. My name is Lisa Bowles, and I live with all of these folks in Adobe Falls. And great neighborhood. We love it. I have nothing more to add other than I can truly attest to Trisha's story. I also saw the drag race that night. I also have provided you with a video last year of somebody really going. And just so you know, we sit out almost every night. And you could almost set your watch between 7 and 8 o'clock to the foursome club leaving. I can hear them warm up in the parking lot, and here comes car 1, 2, 3, and then the last person of the foursome that probably played that day. And it's a race. I don't have a radar gun, but I can tell you they're going 50, 60, 70. And I do think when the last time I read in the notes of the HOA, I think the fastest one they clocked with the city put the speed thing out there, 78. That's a lot for that neighborhood. I really hope that we can do something. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa.
I'm Tessa Bynum. Is it somebody's phone? Did I get somebody's credit cards? Sorry.
That's good. Thank you.
Just got excited. I'm Tessa Bynum. I don't live with these people, but I do live in Fruita. I want to speak about the presentation that was given by Homeward Bound today that gave me a little bit of pause. So during the presentation, it was mentioned that people are welcomed at the shelter who can't survive on the streets, with examples of women, children, veterans, and survivors of domestic violence. And while I understand the point that was being made, framing it the way that it was framed means that there are some people who deserve to be unhoused. And there are some people who deserve safety. And when we separate people into those two categories, it makes it so that we reinforce the stigma of who deserves safety. And we shouldn't be doing that. Because there is no real reason to make it that way. There are people who choose to be unhoused and be on the streets. And then there are people who are there because I'm a giant, Todd. There are people who choose to be on the house or on the streets, and there are people who don't choose to be there, that it is just a circumstance that happens. I would also like to mention that language matters. So saying the homeless is really stigmatizing, and people deserve, and people don't deserve to be stereotyped like that. They deserve their humanity. So using language for person first language, such as a person experiencing houselessness or an unhoused person recognizes that the home or their housing status is a circumstance, not an identity. I want you to think about something that an amazing person experiencing houselessness said to me a year ago. There are people with multiple houses across this country that don't have a home. I don't have a house, but I have a home. And that matters. And I think about that a lot. I was also struck by the numbers. We heard that the shelter has 112 beds, yet our school district identified approximately 700 students experiencing houselessness. That statistic should stop us all in our tracks. And it's not something that can be fixed by just one agency. It requires collaboration, including harm reduction, problem-solving courts, affordable housing, behavioral health, domestic violence resources, and policies that reduce the barriers and stigmas instead of reinforcing them. And as a person who has been in the rooms with those, with the unhoused coalitions that were talked about tonight, there's not a single person experiencing houselessness in those rooms to explain their experiences. And that's one of the problems. The language we use shapes our community and how we think about the people that live in our community. So I encourage everyone to think about the language that they use and hope that it reflects dignity, avoids stigma, and acknowledges that every person deserves stable, safe housing and not the stigma that is projected onto them. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that would like to come up and speak? All right, seeing none, I'm going to go ahead and close public comment and bring it back to council. We have a consent agenda before us. Is there anybody that would like to discuss or pull anything off of consent? All right, seeing none, I would need a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve the consent agenda as before us.
I can.
Thank-
Right, Todd. Gotta be faster.
Aye.
I think Rich got that one. All right, last chance. Any other questions, comments, or concerns about anything on consent?
Wow.
All right. Seeing none, Deb, would you kindly poll council?
Counselor Purser,
Yes.
Counselor Parrish,
Yes.
Counselor Miller,
Yes.
Counselor Kumro,
Yes.
Counselor Prochnow.
Yes.
Motion passes 5-0.
Great, thank you. We do not have any public hearing or actions tonight. So with that, we're going to move into, we don't have any administrative agenda. So with that, we're going to move to item number 8, our city manager's report. Yeah, we got to get through 8 first.
Well,
Ed.
Mine says number 9 is city managers.
Skip
Yeah.
that, Yeah.
Hmm.
We're going to city managers.
Well, thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council. Just a few quick items to present tonight. First off, I want to say thank you to all of What am I missing? No. Yeah.
Missing is I picked up a printed agenda.
Oh, sure.
Different numbering than the one that was emailed out.
Okay. All right.
Mine is what yours.
Mine's missing a 7.
We have different agendas.
Goes from 6 to 8.
Okay. All right.
Just numbered wise, just
Yes.
that's all.
That is
Things there.
yeah. Interesting.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. So just want to begin. Thank you all for coming out last Thursday for our special Thursday night concert here at Civic Center Park with Hazel Miller. Incredible turnout. And as many of you know, we ran out of ice cream very early, and it was probably the biggest crowd we've ever seen at a concert. I think ever for Civic Center Park. We pulled the data and there was at least 1,700 people at the Civic Center during the concert. We figured it's probably a lot more, but as you could tell, all kind of aspects of the park and everything else was pretty packed last Thursday. So really excited about that, but know that kind of with how big that concert is, we think our Car Out Day celebration and the 15250 celebration on August 1st may be bigger. So we're looking at any potential changes that we might need to make for that event, but we'll also keep council and the public updated on that as well. Couple other updates. I'm sure most of you saw that, but the most recent update on the Snyder fire is that containment increased today from 95 to 98%. It's crazy what a week has done because we were talking about this last week and it was very visibly smoky, hot. And I think containment at that point was still pretty low, but they've done great work out there. And we're very excited to hear that they are actually be wrapping up and winding down operations for the most part here in Fruita soon. So we begin to see the crowds at the middle school decrease and also at the high school decrease as well as they go on to other fires that they can be deployed to throughout the state. Carlisle Parks and Wildlife is reopening river access to as well, and also the Horse Thief Canyon Special Recreation area that has been closed has been opened again, and the NCA, the National Conservation Area, is open again as well. So yeah, really thankful for all of their hard work. It was an incredible operation over there. We had the opportunity to go over to Incident Command several times, talk to the staff, talk to all of them, and of course thank them for all that they did. A few other items. Our strategic planning meeting is still tentatively scheduled for 2 weeks from yesterday, so July 20th at Our Lady of Perpetual Motion. Working on the agenda, and we will share with council on that very soon. And then my final item, which I'm sure Councilor Purser can also discuss during reports and actions, is that after our last regular meeting, we sent over the new Heart of Fruita criteria to council. Didn't get any feedback on that, so we went ahead and put out the call for the Heart of Fruita. So that is currently out, and the Arts and Culture Board is now accepting applications, increasing the number of sculptures to 8 total, some in downtown and some on the south side, which is great. And chosen artists will receive, an honorarium, and they'll have till early next month to submit. So really excited about that. Really excited to see the submissions that we receive. But that's all I have, Mr. Mayor and Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. That takes us to council reports and action items. I'm going to go first, but not as myself. Councilor Hansi is not here.
We have alter egos now. Okay.
Sarah, got a question.
Something new, keeping it funky. All right.
Aaron and I talked earlier today. He asked me to ask a couple questions. One is, have we heard anything back from the auditors?
Yeah, we will send over that response. Yes.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Aaron mentioned that he was somewhere in Utah for the 4th of July or around the 4th of July and that this fabulous fireworks show. But the council got up beforehand and spoke a little bit about the 250th anniversary. So what Aaron wanted to ask is for the 150th anniversary with the drone show, is there an interest of council of having one of us, multiples of us come up and say something prior to the drone show to celebrate in recognition of what the 150th actually is?
I got it. I'm down.
Okay. So since Aaron suggested that, I will work with Aaron in terms of coordinating that.
Sure.
Oh, I have words already. All right. Already in my head.
There will be some coordination taking place. Save that for your council reports and action items.
Sir.
The last question Aaron had was on the flock camera that's on 340. In terms of who put that up, do we know who, is that the county? Is that the state?
So yeah, I just heard about this. I think we looked into it. It is not a city flock camera. I believe it belongs to the Department of Transportation, but I can verify that and get back. Did we verify that? No, but we will, but I'm not quite sure on ownership currently, but we can double check and get back to you.
Once again, I'm still putting on my Aaron hat. That would be
Sure.
great. He would like to have some discussion in terms of privacy and what that means because it's located within the city of Fruita. And just,
sure,
he would like to have further discussion,
State, correct.
but within the city limits.
I get it.
Yes. I'm wearing Aaron's hat.
I know, I'm asking questions spurred on by Aaron.
So Aaron's not here. I think we should put together a spreadsheet
Yes.
of what that means. I'll make sure I share that idea with him.
We appreciate it for reals.
Okay. So that's all Aaron had, which he wanted to bring up. So with that, I will turn it over to anybody else that would like to jump in and go first.
Do you want to start, Todd, since we
Go for it.
over you tonight?
Yeah, go for it.
Got me lost now.
All right, we can come back to you. Yeah, Amy.
Okay, so didn't have a GRVTC meeting this month last month because we were all out of town for CML. So I'll have two. I have the pleasure of having two GRVTC meetings in July, something to look forward to. We had historic preservation met on Monday, super quick, cute little meeting. They are planning their a big history fair for Fall Fest this year because of the 15250. They've been working really hard on I'm sure you guys have seen some of the oral history videos that have been, I think they have 6 now, so that'll be really cool. They actually asked if we are planning on organizing maybe like a piece of artwork or a bench or something for a memorial for the firefighters. And then they also requested that my poem be a proclamation to like make that official, which I'm cool with that, or whatever. However we want to approach that. But they really want to make sure that we recognize and memorialize those 3, which I thought was pretty cool. They also asked if we can get an update about the history room.
Oh, sure.
From Mary Elizabeth. I know we've been keeping her very busy, but there were the legal questions about that. They're kind of hoping that we can keep that rolling forward.
Yeah.
So even just a quick update on what that's looking like.
Sorry, can you, I'm drawing a blank on the legal questions.
So because
Owner
didn't ever establish that as really anything, it was just kind of her things in that space. We need to figure out how to like legally transfer those items and help set them up as some form of entity and what that looks like in cooperation with the city.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. And then for 15250, I wondered if maybe we could have Greta like holding a flag.
Oh, interesting.
The way that her arms are, I was looking the other day and I was like, that would be pretty stinking cute to have her hold a great big flag. I don't, and I think she's even lit up, so it would be, you know, like protocol, I don't know, whatever that would look like. I just thought that might be a really cool Fruita specific celebration. That would be really fun photo op, you know, type thing. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's all I've got.
I do want to say, Amy, thank you enough. The poem that not only did you write, that you
You made it through.
You made it.
It's really hard.
It was remarkable, and thank you. I've had a lot
was
of
my
comments
pleasure.
from people about how much that meant. So thank you.
It was my sincere pleasure. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Yeah, my big burly husband and his big burly best friend were both crying when I got back. So that was, yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's impactful. Yeah. Thank you.
Rich.
I'll just say that 3 of us attended the opening this afternoon of Museum Discovery. They had an grand opening for the reopening, I guess is probably the best way to put it, of their new exhibits and the new animatron dinosaurs that are there. And it seemed to go fairly well. The mayor spoke to at least one media, right?
No.
No, you
I
didn't.
spoke to no media.
No.
I unusually kept my mouth shut.
Mayor hid behind me.
So, and I know that the museum board will meet at the end of this month, and I was told probably once more before their retreat, the first part of August, at which time they will try and make a decision on what's going to happen going forward.
Are they scheduled to talk to us before that point in time?
Not yet. I have invited the executive director back at a point of when she's ready to come back. They're wrapping up with their.
Maybe after that retreat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm sure that they will want to come back and talk with us.
Yeah. I know they're wrapping up their feasibility study at other locations too. So there was some information to go through. And yeah, I would expect that we'd have her back sometime in the next couple months.
All I had. Except I'm leaving the country.
You know, you have to put some sort of framework around that. Otherwise, it's like, I can't do this anymore. I'm leaving the country.
Family vacation.
Good for you.
No, before July 20th.
He gets back.
But he'll be back before the 12th.
I'll be back on the 18th.
He'll be back. Great. Awesome.
That's all I
You got to give a little bit more information before you say something. Janine.
I don't know if we want to hear this recap now, but in regards to the concerns about the roads and falls and what research was gathered when our officers did take a look at it, we have a few new people on here since that happened, and then just I don't know if we want to
workshop item
a little bit that topic if everyone else feels like that would be appropriate.
I think it would be worth having the discussion, and I appreciate their passion and their concerns, but they talked about, let's say, holding the speed guns out. What was shared with council prior was because apparently with speed guns, you have to be kind of straight on. So readings out to the sides are misreadings. I'm not trying to diminish their concerns, but just kind of state that. My understanding, there has been conversations about signage won't change anything. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's the feeling of being in danger, which will cause people to slow down. Having said all that, I do think we should have a discussion around that.
I
Get you guys caught up.
maybe. chat a little bit more about that again. I did want to bring attention to the 250 August 1st celebration. I don't know if you caught at the end of Hazel's concert that her next concert is August 1st.
Oh, nice.
So we will have a little competition that night in regards to crowds, whether we'll have the same, because she tends to draw a crowd, I think, like what we saw the other night. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. She's performing in Palisade same night as our celebration. So there's just that little bit of
Might actually help with
I mean, it may, yeah,
picking crowds.
it might. And then I was curious if I don't know if this is possible, but the the first favorite thing of the Thursday night concert for me was Amy's presentation. But the second favorite thing that happened was when some of those firefighters drove by and the whole crowd stood up and cheered, and it was amazing. And if said firefighters and personnel are leaving at some point, I don't know if we can have a heads up with that where the community maybe could have a little send off for them somewhere. I think would be really fantastic if that's possible. And if it's not, then fine, but I think that'd be cool.
I'm going to throw another idea past you, which is if that's not an option at our next council meeting, would it be possible to have representation show up so we can formally thank them as a city, and then perhaps also provide the proclamation or the poem proclamation?
Yeah, we can definitely ask.
Any form of kind of coordination of that, even if maybe not this week, but our next Thursday night, if there's any way that we can, I know the community would love to be, but even if it's just us, even if it is us, that would be.
Yeah, if you could check the options,
Yeah.
would be wonderful. Thank you. Great idea.
And all of my board stuff is coming up. Report.
You have no boards.
I don't have boards, but I
yet.
do have two things. So one specifically, this is something that I was kind of thinking about during the presentations, but is there a way that we can kindly force ourselves onto something like the Grand Valley Homeless Coalition or the Mesa County version of that? Because I've had this discussion before, and it sounds like, depending, I don't know which one specifically, but there are representatives or is a representative from at least Grand Junction on one of those. And I think it would be great to have Fruita's voice in that situation. So I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I think if there's a formal ask, and council decides to appropriate funds, at the very least, I think that can be part of that appropriation, is that we have representation.
Yeah.
They were very, I had a quick conversation with them directly after, just kind of pitching that, like that idea. They were
Okay.
Very amicable to that.
Yeah.
So I think that would be, that would be.
Great. Yeah, and we are always invited to those meetings as well. And actually, Councilor Purser and I attended the Fruita Hope Initiative meeting. Did we discuss this last time for council? But yeah, I think it might have been maybe the day before we had our regular meeting. So we actually, there's a lot of the members of the audience tonight are part of a new group, the Fruita Hope Initiative, which are trying to align all of these resources and become like a educational and advocacy group for people who are experiencing going through being unhoused. So we did present to them, and we have been invited back this month as well. But I know there are a lot of representatives on that group that also goes to that. So we're always available and can attend.
Did hear though that Grand Junction, and I was at what I thought I was asking really when I was asking about the Mesa County Coalition.
Yep.
After that, when they did say Grand Valley Homeless Coalition, that was the one I actually was thinking of. And I know that there's a GJ city councilor representative there all the time. So to Jared's point.
Are they there as part of the city, or are they just there on their own? Do you know?
As a city representative.
Okay.
So and like Amy said, they're open to that. And It's the third Thursday of every month at 10 a.m. So that's going to put several of us probably.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, thank you. And then it was brought to my attention by several community members. So I just wanted to kind of throw it out there, potentially something to workshop or continue the conversation. But there's been a lot of concerns brought forward to me about Reed Park, and specifically centered around drug use at Reed Park, and then just kind of some of the delinquency that's happened surrounding that area. I've had personal experience with several of the kids that I had when I was doing foster care, and one of the sons that I adopted had some pretty bad experiences at Reed Park. And like I said, I've had several parents come to me expressing concern. So I just wanted to bring it to council's attention that that's something that I think we potentially in the future needed to start taking a look at. I don't know if that's more representation or police force just kind of driving by on a more regular basis, something to that effect, but wanted to bring it to council's attention.
Sure.
The recent.
Correct. Yeah. There was a missing girl in the community that, from the story that I received from a community member, the last person that she was with and the last place she was seen was at Reed Park. My son specifically struggled with substance abuse and at several points in time got drugs at Reed Park. And so some recent as well as some further back experiences. So,
yeah.
Definitely been on.
Yeah.
So when is Chief coming?
This month, yeah. And Reed Park, this came up last year as well. So we actually began doing more proactive check-ins over there with some of our police officers. And also we issued quite a few trespass violations there as well. I believe it was maybe 4 or 5, but I can pull that exact number. So if there is anything like that, happening, we can take, action through that. And we can also increase our proactive patrols over there. Anytime we receive, a complaint like this, whether it's, speeding on 18.5 road, you recently received a complaint about speeding on Maple Street as well, or Reed Park, we'll put officers on there often. In fact, when we were going through 18.5 road last year, we issued several tickets along that stretch. We're still putting people out there on Maple Street. You've probably noticed there's a speed trailer on K and 6/10, and there's been a lot of tickets issued there as well. So we will always, when staff is available, put people out there to try to be proactive with those engagements.
Could you ask Chief just to touch on Reed Park when he's here?
Sure. Yeah.
Just to give him a heads up that there will be questions.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Of course. That's all I had.
That's it. Well, Aaron took most of mine. You took dinosaur. You took that. So I've got Board of Adjustments has no meetings coming up. There was rumor that we might have one, but I think that was just a rumor. And Chamber doesn't meet until next week. So I've got nothing on that, which will lead us into our boards and commission assignments. Oh, do you have something else? Oh,
Yeah, we got to come back to Todd.
just my night, Todd.
Come back.
I am coming back to you. Thanks for the reminder.
Give me a chance to let my brain engage again.
I apologize.
No worries. We had FTAC, the Tourism Advisory Council, last week. One of the things we talked about was bringing social media back in-house. Currently, we have it contracted out. So that's one of the things that we talked about doing. Bring it back in, and that'll be back to council. Sure. So kind of giving you guys a little heads up. Talking about that.
Is that the Go Fruita social media that they're talking about, not the city of Fruita social media?
No, it's
Is
like
that right?
Both are in-house, but we've talked about bringing more of our paid media back in-house. Yep.
Media back.
Yep.
It's like
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah.
We're coming back to in-house.
No, like
Like
all of it.
Okay.
Instead of paying Barnhart,
Yep.
yeah, bringing it all back.
Okay.
I mean, we have some really talented people here,
Totally.
and we have some talented people in Fruita that can do video and everything else. So why not keep it here? They giving money to Denver.
Yeah.
Coordination becomes a challenge on that, but I am not arguing in terms of using local.
So that was my big thing. And Thursday night was great. I showed up late for, even though the invitation, the thing said 7:30, 19:30 is what my calendar had. All were already serving ice cream.
Yeah.
Thank you, because you reminded me of something. We are still having some IT issues. Um,
I had no record of an email with tonight's agenda until he forwarded one. I have the weekly information, but no council meeting agenda still on my, at least on this one now. I probably can go to one of my other devices and find it, but at least not on this iPad. It still is an issue as to which one I can pull up the current email address. So, and I still have not heard back from our source on what I can access on my phone, because I'm now using, I forget what it's called, to get your emails, which doesn't give me your calendar. So,
Yeah.
a little frustrating.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Are
Thank
you getting are the agendas now?
Not getting them yet, but I did get the email saying that I've been subscribed. I presume that theoretically next go around I'll get something. Maybe, fingers crossed.
Getting notices that I need to reset a password for mine on my laptop, and I'm not allowed to reset my own password.
All right. Work on that.
You look overwhelmed.
Well, good thing no agenda next week. We got ample time to sort it out, hopefully.
Thank you. I know you have not heard us talk about IT issues in the past.
Never.
It's fresh for you.
First time for everything.
All right. Todd, to make sure I don't skip you third time. Anything else? All right. I handed out, and Deb, this is actually your spreadsheet, which I gave to you, which is a list of our current boards and commissions. I know it says 2020.
It's
Hopefully,
actually.
this is not correct.
Well,
I thought the date was wrong.
yeah, this is correct. Okay,
The date's wrong.
I'm listed on something that I'm not on anymore. That's it.
Okay.
Rich, you're on the Youth Action Council, right?
I think that's correct.
I think so too. Okay.
I don't see you.
Written on there. I am.
Uh,
But Rich took that.
Is Rich. So with James was on AG&C, and he was on the CDBG, the Community Development Block Grant appointment or board on that. Now, just because this is an opportunity which if we need to shuffle because of people's schedules and interest, anything, we can do that at this point in time.
I feel like I probably have one of the most open schedules, probably next to Rich. I'm willing to take G and C.
So right now, though, you're on police and tourism.
Tourism. I'm not giving up police commission.
Okay. So if we go down that road, tourism and CDBG are not spoken for. So Jared, as the new guy, are you comfortable with those two? And if you look on this sheet, it says when they meet. I don't know what your schedule's like.
Tourism might be a struggle, but the CDBG should not be.
Okay. So does anybody have a high interest in tourism that is willing to change something else. Because we definitely want to have council representation on tourism. Thank you for asking that question. I was trying to side item.
Sure.
Okay, because Rich, you're right now in Museum of the West.
And Jared, how about the Fruita Youth Action Council?
I would love that.
When does that meet?
I would think that would be a real good one for you.
I would love
Be a
that.
really good fit for you.
Okay.
Well, I'll go back on tourism and let you take youth.
Great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right.
Right now because they're on summer break. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
I love that group though.
So to make sure I've got this right, Rich, you're going back on tourism. AG&C is going to be Todd. Community development, Jared, as well as youth action is also you. So those are the changes. All right.
Wait, the youth Fruita action?
It's not on this list.
It is. It is. The Youth Action Council is down there.
Oh, geez.
From them.
Okay, sorry.
It has Janine's.
It's not right.
That was the one that was
I was until April, and then I moved off, and Rich took it, but it hasn't gone yet because they haven't met yet. So this will work out well.
That's why I'm confused by that. No.
All right.
Wow, it has been one of those nights for me.
Hey, it's been a night.
Week will be a busy one, Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Oh, there you go. You can just crank them all out in 1 week.
It's like, yeah, me third Thursday or third week is brutal. With the 7 a.m. meeting following this meeting. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Anything else from anybody on council under council reports and actions? All right. With that, we're going to head into an executive session.
I need to recuse myself due to the fact that my husband serves on the Lower Valley Fire District Board
Right.
to avoid any perceived conflict.
I appreciate that. So now if we have to come out, which there's no action, I think, that needs to be taken. So we're good. Okay. So we will, go in executive, we'll come back out to open, but anticipate just closing right away. Yeah, adjourning right after that.
Very close by if something changes.
We can touch.
It's fine. It's fine for Janine to leave. And even if you come back out into open session, she does, you have a quorum to continue the meeting.
Yeah. Well, if for some reason we need to vote on something would be something you'd be conflicted out most likely. Yes, we can call you back. All right. So just so I know besides council, who's going to be on this meeting, it's going to be you, Dan, Mary Elizabeth, anybody else? Okay. All right. So with that, I would need a motion to convene.
Mr. Mayor, I move to convene an executive session to receive legal advice from the city attorney pursuant to CRS 24-6-4024B and to inform the negotiators pursuant to CRS 24-6-4024E regarding the IGA with Lower Valley Fire Protection District regarding the new public safety tax.
And for the record, those that will be attending the meeting will be Jared, Rich, myself, Amy, Todd, City Manager Shannon Vossen, and Assistant City Manager Dan Karras. So with that, we have
And City Attorney Mary Elizabeth.
Thank you, and City Attorney. How can I forget? Mary Elizabeth Geiger. So we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right.
Counselor Parrish?
Yes.
Counselor Miller?
Yes.
Counselor Kumro?
Yes.
Counselor Prochnow?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Yes.
All right. Mary Elizabeth, do you have is this going to be a different recording?
Yeah.
Okay. And she's got that.